your knees bent or straight, whatever you feel is appropriate for you today. And we'll just rest our hands lightly on our ribs. We can just start to let go of the day. Although it's hardly begun. Let go of the morning. And try not to think too much about what still needs to be done, what lunch needs to be cooked, cards to be played, what you're going to do in the rainy weather. Just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the back side of the body soften onto our mats. Perhaps you need to do that a couple more times. Just to let some softness start to come into our backs. Take a moment to notice what's happening in the shoulders. Have they started to creep up towards our ears? Try and let them relax down. Maybe you even lift the shoulder blades a little and tuck them under the body so that the shoulders fall away towards the floor. Take a moment to notice the face. Notice if there's any tension being held in the forehead, particularly between the brows. Just consciously trying to let go of any of that tension. And our jaw, we tend to hold tension in our jaw. So even a slight separation in the mouth allows for that tension to dissipate a little. And then with our hands on our ribs, we can really start to connect to our breath. So taking deep breath in, feeling the expansion of the ribs out into your hands. And as we exhale, feel them recede back in. Inhale, air flows in, the hands move outwards. And exhale, the breath ebbs away and the hands draw closer. Taking a few moments here to just observe that breath as it comes in and out. And then consciously try and make it bigger. So perhaps even the belly will rise as we breathe in. So try to expand into every part of our lungs. As we exhale again, it just ebbs away and everything returns back inwards. We inhale to find that expansiveness. And we exhale just to let it dissipate. Deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. Perhaps taking 3 or 4 more of those really deep, long, slow breaths. And just let the breath go back to normal, whatever's normal for you. But try not to breathe too shallowly. Trying to continue with a slower breath and a slightly deeper breath. When we next inhale, just bring the arms overhead and take a nice deep stretch. And exhale, bring the hands behind the head, tuck them behind our head, and then bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out. So we're in Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly pose. We just bring the hands behind our head so that they can't help us in this. As we inhale, keeping the soles of the feet together, just draw the knees up towards each other. And as we exhale, control the descent as they come back down. So we inhale, use the inner thigh muscles to draw them together, only as far as the soles of the feet can stay together. And exhale, let them release. So starting to warm up between the inner thighs, the inner part of our legs. So it's just a very slow and controlled move. And for some of us it may be small, and that's okay. Just keep that movement and bring the attention to our lower abdomen, right down above our pelvic bone. And try and firm up there, so drawing the deep muscles of the transverse abdominis, which simply act like a girdle to keep us nice and safe, keep our organs in, keep our back safe. Try and firm up there. So it's not really a move that you'll feel very much of. You might just feel a little pressure in that lower part of the abdomen. All the while, we're just keeping those legs going. Let's take 2 more of those. The next time the knees come to center, just draw your arms in and wrap your arms around your knees. Have a little bit of a squeeze, rock gently on the lower back. We did this one last week, so we'll keep our right leg in, stretch our left leg out. Take a breath in with the shoulders on the mat. You can have the left leg hovering above the mat if you prefer, or you can have it resting on the mat. As we exhale, curl the chest up, trying to bring the forehead towards the knee. Little bit of a squeeze in with that right knee. And then inhale, stretch the arm and the leg away, arms and the leg away, draw the left leg in. Exhale, we curl up again, squeeze the left knee in, forehead towards our knee. Inhale, stretch the left leg out, arms go long, right knee comes back in. Exhale to curl up. Inhale to stretch long and change legs. Exhale to curl up. So keep flowing between those with your own breath. So by moving the leg independently without our arms to draw it into the chest, we're strengthening our hip flexor muscles. And by curling up, trying to bring our forehead to our knee, we're strengthening our abdominal muscles. So I'm feeling this in my abs. So I hope you two are. You two are? You lot are. Let's just take 1 more each side. Make sure you finish on your left side so that we're nice and even. And stretch everything out. And then curl up into a ball, and you can let go of any pressure through that abdominal region. Just rock gently. And just make your way over into child's pose. So you can either rock up to a seated position, or you can roll over to your side. Like my pants as I go over. Just take a moment here in child's pose. So this stretches our lower back. So we're bringing our heads to our mats if we can, if they come down, or making a little pillow for our forehead with our hands. We want to drop our hips towards our heels. And take a few breaths here, just finding that expansiveness in our lower back. we're coming up to hands and knees and just doing some cat-cows. So hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Just move with the breath. So the inhale to drop the belly, draw the chest forward, and exhale to tuck the tailbone, let the head drop, push through the floor. So just flowing those two moves. Inhaling, looking forward. Exhaling, arching up. Just enjoy it. Just move with the breath, connect with the breath. Maybe if you find a spot that's a little bit niggly, you might want to stay in either cat or cow. And you might want to move around a little bit in a different plane, different directions. Maybe getting into that niggly bit. Let's take 2 more of these. And finish with that nice neutral spine. Draw the hip bones in so that we feel that activation again in that deep lower abdomen. Again, we did this last week. It's just a spinal balance flow or a bird dog flow. So we'll lift our right arm and our left leg. We'll start by just taking a few breaths here, trying to get that alignment right. So with our lower back, it has its natural lumbar curve. We don't want to have that big sway back happening. So we don't really want that leg coming higher than our hip. And the hip bone of that lifted leg's facing towards the floor, so we're not kicking out and rolling to the side. Just taking 2 more breaths here. And then we'll swap hands and try the other side. So lifting left arm, right leg. The toes on my lifted leg are curling towards my shin. And pushing through that heel. The toes on my bent leg can be tucked or they can be flat on the floor, whatever feels comfortable for our knee. And the lifted hand is facing towards the center. Our gaze towards the front of our mats. Taking 1 more breath. Bringing both back to the floor, and we'll just flow between those. We just want to be a bit mindful when we're flowing that we're not swaying through the pelvis, that we're not rolling, we're not in too much of a lumbar curve. So we want to keep that engagement in that the lower abdomen. As we inhale, right hand, left leg lifts. As we exhale, they come to the floor with control. As we inhale, left hand, right leg lifts. As we exhale, they come to the floor with control. So swapping on every inhale to lift, and every exhale to return to the floor with purpose. Inhale to lift, exhale to the floor. Keep moving between the two. Concentrating on moving as little as possible through the rest of the body. One more each side. So make sure you finish left hand up, right leg. Just bring them back to the floor, maybe taking a cat-cow or maybe taking a child's pose for a couple of breaths, depending on your wrists. Just release any tension that may have been created in the lower back. And wherever we went, just coming back to hands and knees again. We're going to lift our right leg out to the side. I call this fire hydrant pose because it's like a puppy dog or a fire hydrant. So we want to feel this in our glute med muscles. So just lift it up there, hold it up there for 5 breaths. Try and distribute the weight evenly between both hands. Keep going. Maybe 2 more breaths. It'll start to fatigue, it'll start to shake. That's good, it's bringing strength. When you next exhale, release that knee to the floor. Maybe take a cat-cow again. And then changing to the other side. So our left leg lifts. Foot on that lifted leg is still flexed, so the toes coming towards the shin. Adjust yourself so that we're leaning into both hands. Try not to roll out to the side, so we still want the right hip bone facing towards the floor. Holding here for 3 more breaths. And releasing back down. Maybe taking a cat-cow or just a little wag with your tail, whatever feels good. Get a little crampy in that glute. And returning back to hands and knees. Remember, if your hands get sore, your wrist gets sore, you can do fists for wrists here. So just make fists with your hands. So lifting, again, right leg out to the side. This time as we inhale, we're going to straighten that leg. As we exhale, bring it in. Inhale, straighten the leg. Try not to roll out to the side too much. And then bend it. 3 more. Whew. Place the knee on the floor. A round of cat-cow perhaps. And then when we're ready, we'll do the other side. So lifting left leg. Make sure you haven't rolled out to the side. Make sure that that right hip bone is still facing towards the floor. And then we start. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. So we're going for 5 of these. So it's a pretty small movement that packs a pretty big punch. 2 more. Back to our mats. And then either child's pose or downward dog, your choice. Wherever you land, just take a couple of breaths. If we're wanting to do downward dog today, we're not already in it, coming up to downward dog, just take a pedal through those legs. Remembering, as always, the alternatives are just hands and knees. You can still pedal through your legs. Or child's pose. They're interchangeable. You can do any one of them. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we're making our way to the front of our mat. So however that happens, as always, we come to our forward fold position. So our chest is folded down over our legs. There's enough of a bend in our legs that we can soften down. And the hands are just hanging. Maybe they'll come to the floor, maybe they won't. Enjoy a couple of just still breaths here. Or maybe you find you want some movement so you can straighten and bend one leg. Maybe you take opposite elbows and swing from side to side. Just let some softness come through the neck and the shoulders. Come up halfway, so bring the hands to the shins. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. Look towards the front of the mat and roll the pelvis so you've got a nice flat back. Take a couple of breaths here. Next time you exhale, just fold forward. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. And bring the hands to heart. Moving to a chair flow, so inhaling, lifting. My puppy dog's here. Exhale, sitting down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, sitting down. Now, if this doesn't work for your shoulders, as you sit back, just bring the hands to heart. So somehow, somebody's let the dog out. He's found his way back in through the dog door. And now he's madly searching for a ball because he's seen my yoga mats. Cheeky thing. But I'll just ignore him. Keep flowing. Next time we come down to our chair pose, stay here, bring your hands to the outside of your thighs and try and push into them. So we want to engage those external rotators in our thighs. So holding here for a couple of breaths. One more breath. As you exhale, just fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise up to standing. Bring the hands into heart, sit back into chair. So remember we did this last week. We're going to take the weight into our left foot and just tap the right out. Bring it back in. Tap it out. Bring it back in. So we want to hug that thigh bone back into its socket. We don't want to be sagging into it. Just a couple more. It's really working the glute muscles on that left side. And let's change sides. So taking the weight into our right foot and tapping with our left. Keep breathing. It's tough, I know, keeping that right leg bent, not sagging into it, lifting up and out. Last one. Stay in chair, 2 breaths. As we exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise to standing. And we'll add on. So exhale, sitting back into chair. Tap right leg out. Bring it in. Tap left leg out. Try not to sway too much in the hips. Bring it in. Breathe in. Fold forward. Come halfway up. As we exhale, step the right leg back, lead the left leg forward and drop the right knee to the mat. We can inhale and rise here. So again, at this leg bent, imagine that you're trying to push against something. There's some resistance there to activate those muscles. And with the right leg, we're leaning into it and getting that stretch. So if our shoulders are okay, hands can reach up, or we can have our hands at heart center. Just taking a couple of breaths here, pushing through that front foot. Next exhale, hands come to the mat. We find ourselves with hands and knees. Inhale, right leg will lift out to the side for our fire hydrant. Exhale, straighten the leg. I can't because I keep the wall. Inhale, bend it back. Exhale, bring it to the mat. Left leg, inhale, lift the knee out to the side. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend it back in. Exhale to the mat. Breathe in here. And exhale, downward dog if you're taking downward dogs. The hands will come out a little longer. Child's pose or staying on hands and knees if you're not doing downward dog. We'll take 3 breaths. Make your way to the front of the mat. Find yourself in your forward fold. Take that inhale, come halfway up. And as we exhale, find our chair pose again. Take a breath in here. Exhale, push through the feet, lift up. Inhale, hands to heart. Let's try the other side. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, back to chair, hands to heart. Tap the right foot out to the side. Bring it back in. Tap the left foot out to the side. Bring it back in. Breathe in. As you exhale, fold down. As we inhale, come halfway up. As we exhale, we fold down and our left leg goes back, left knee to the mat. So we're pushing that right knee against something, or it'll feel like that. And then inhale to lift, or hands to heart, your preference. So keep pushing through that right foot. Keep imagining the knees finding some resistance out to the side. And just letting that stretch happen in that back leg. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Next time we exhale, the hands will come to the mat. We draw that right foot back to find hands and knees. Then we lift the right knee out to the side. We straighten the leg. We bring it back in. We exhale it back to the floor. So we inhale, left leg up. Exhale, straighten. Inhale back. And exhale to the floor. Inhale here. And exhale for downward dog or child's pose. Or hands and knees. 3 breaths. So the other alternative to downward dog is to keep your knees on the floor and just bring your forearms to the mat. So it's sort of a downward dog. It's called puppy dog pose. And that's quite nice if we've got wrist issues or we're just not feeling like doing downward dog today. One last breath. And then make your way to the front of your mat. Once we arrive, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, push to rise. And gather our hearts back in. Our hearts, our hands. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, hands to heart, sit back in our chair. Once more on each side. So tapping our right foot out, bringing it back in. Tapping our left, bringing it back in. Breathing in to stay here. Exhaling to fold forward. Coming up halfway. Folding forward. Right leg steps back, knee to the mat. As we inhale, we lift. Exhale, just let yourself relax into the pose. Stay here for another breath. And as we exhale, the hands come back to the mat. Knee finds the other foot. And we do our lifting. So lifting the right leg as we inhale. Exhale to straighten it out. Inhale to bend it back in. And exhale, it comes back to the floor. Left leg up. Straighten it out. Inhale it back in. And exhale it to the floor. Inhale here. And finding your downward dog, puppy pose, child's pose, hands and knees. Whatever feels good for 3 breaths. Some simple, slow movements matched with breath. Helps to distract and slow the mind. as well as benefiting our bodies. At the end of this next exhale, make your way to the front of the mat. Take an inhale, rising halfway up. And an exhale to fold back down. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, pushing up. And inhale, gather the hands back. Breathe out, pause here. Doing one more. Inhale, hands rise. Exhale, sitting back into our chairs. Tapping our right foot. Bringing it back in. Tapping our left foot. Bringing it back in. We hold here until we're ready to exhale, and then we fold. We inhale halfway up. We exhale, fold, our left leg comes back, our knee comes to the mat. And the inhale lifts the chest away from the leg and we rise for our low lunge. Pushing into that front leg, tucking the back leg. Next exhale, hands come to the floor, knee comes back. We inhale, lift our right leg, bent. Exhale, straighten it out. Inhale, bend it back in. Exhale, return it to the mat. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, straighten it out. Inhale, bend it. Exhale, back to the mat. Inhale, hold here. And exhale, downward dog, or one of the alternatives. Take out 3 breaths. After your next exhale, walk your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale to find chair pose, sit the hips back. Breathe in here. Exhale, rise up. And inhale, hands come back to heart. So we're doing the same flow as we did last week, so a few taps, a little bit of a stretch. So staying at the front of our mats. Keep our right leg forward. Lift the knee of the left leg. So what you don't want to see is this slump. You want to hold up nice and tall in the pelvis as you lift that leg. So no kicking into the hips and letting the pelvis drop. So staying up nice and tall. As we exhale, bend through that right leg, bring the hands to heart, and just tap the left toes behind you. So like we're coming into a lunge, but we're not really. So you feel this really strongly in the quads on your front leg, and also those glute med muscles on the side of the right leg. Breathe in, either lifting the knee to the chest if the balance is there, or just tapping it forward. And exhale, you bend through that front leg and tap it back. So inhale, it comes forward. Exhale, we tap back. So trying to keep those hips fairly level. Trying to be really conscious of not sagging into that right hip. Your choice, so the knee can either lift slightly or it can just tap forward as you come forward. We just don't want to put too much pressure on that left leg, so we really want him to start to fatigue that right leg. Just do 3 more. It doesn't matter which way you're breathing, just as long as you're breathing. This time as we come up, try drawing that knee to the chest. And then stepping it back, we'll find warrior 1 legs. So remember, wider on our mats. Front and back foot facing a little bit forward. Hips settle where the hips settle. And the chest moves forward. And our hands rise up. Then we're going to sweep forward. So lean forward, sweep the arms back. We're going to stay in this position. So we don't want to round down over that leg. We'll be lifting up through our abdominals nice and strong in our back. And we're just going to move our hands. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, reaching forward. Or vice versa. You can breathe whichever way you want, as long as you're doing one movement on the inhale and the other movement on the exhale. You should really be feeling this, that right leg. Mine's like shaking. Take one more. Gather the hands into heart, lift the chest up, draw the front leg in a little. So this time we'll square off the hips so that they come to the front of the mat. We'll keep that front leg straight, and we're just going to fold forward. So again, try to keep that back nice and straight, and just come into where you feel a comfortable stretch up the back of the leg. And if you've got a block or a book or something handy, you can rest your hands on that. Otherwise, just you rest your hands on the front leg, or maybe the floor. Depends on the flexibility. Wherever we are, let the head drop. Let the shoulders relax. Just take a few breaths. This is our rest. We're just enjoying that stretch in our hamstrings, maybe our calf. Last breath here. This is our rest. Bend through that front leg so that you can use that to push the chest away. And find warrior two legs. So longer stance, heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Stretching our arms out. We've done this before. As we inhale, straighten the front leg. As we exhale, bend into it, making sure that knee's tracking towards the toe. Inhale. Straighten, don't lock out. So use the muscles to control the movement. Exhale, sink. So if that means you don't come all the way to straight leg, then don't. Focus the eyes on the front fingers. Just thinking about that movement. Next time we have that straight leg, reach the front fingers forward, bring the front hand to the shin or the thigh, and then reach the top hand over. So like triangle pose, except we're reaching the top hand over, pinky finger towards the floor. So we're rolling through that shoulder and accentuating that stretch up the side of our body. Take a couple of breaths here, noticing if our chest is rolling forward, we're trying to roll it back. And we're going to bend through that front leg, windmill the arms, find reverse warrior. And then our hands will come all the way back to the mat. Knee to the mat. We run through our fire hydrant flow, or if you're needing a rest, just come to child's pose. So if we're doing our flow, we're lifting our right leg, straightening it out, bending it back in, bringing it back down. Lifting our left, straightening it out, bending it back in, and releasing it to the floor. Finding your way to downward dog or one of its alternatives, and staying there again for 3 breaths. So the good news is, we've got one side down. Bad news is we've got 2 sides. Damn body being asymmetrical, or symmetrical rather. Walk the feet back up to the top of our mats. Inhale, find halfway lift. Exhale, flow back down. Inhale, rise up. Or just all the way up, no chair. And hands to heart. So the other side. Breathing in. Hands come to our heart center. We sit back into our chair. We tap the right leg. We bring it in. We tap the left. I don't know whether I did this on the other side. We bring it in. From here, we keep that Left leg bent this time, and we're tapping the right leg out and in. So just try not to sink into the hip of the left leg. So you might notice a difference between your two sides. One glute med might be a little bit less strong than the other. So you've got that alternative of bringing the knee up if you prefer. Or just tapping those toes in to meet the foot. Your choice. Keep going, we want to fatigue it, so another couple of breaths. We just don't want to sag into that left hip. Next time you come forward, see if you can straighten that left leg somewhat, keep slight bend in it, bring that right knee up. And then we'll step it back and find warrior one on this side. So we've got a little wider stance, let the hips settle, bring the chest up, breathe in, lift the arms. You can bend into that front leg a lot or a little, but you know what's coming, so I'd recommend a little. Exhale, fold forward at the hips, hinge at the hips, nice straight back, belly's in. Then inhale, we're reaching our arms. And exhale, sweeping them back. Inhale, sweeping them forward. Exhale, sweeping them back. 3 more times. Don't sag down into that front hip. Keep pushing into that front leg. Bring the hands forward. Exhale, hands to heart, rise up. Drag that front leg in a little bit. Square off the hips to the front of our mats or the short edges of our mats. And then fold forward with that front leg straight. So remember, if you've got a block or a book, you can use that. You can use the floor. You can use the thigh or the shin. Just find some softness in that upper body. And let the exhale allow you to relax over that front leg and get that beautiful stretch up the back of the leg. Let's take one more breath here. So remember to come up, we bend into that front leg so we can use that to push ourselves, lift our chest up. Then we open up into a wider warrior two stance. From warrior two, just opening up through our chest. As we inhale, straighten the front leg. As we exhale, bend back into it. Inhale, straightening. Exhale, bending. Try not to lock out that front knee when we straighten. Maybe as we bend, trying to find a little bit more depth in that front leg. Take 2 more. Straightening through that front leg, reaching forward with that front arm, letting the hand come to the shin or the thigh, rotating the other arm up, but then reaching it forward, turning that pinky finger down towards the mat, opening up through the chest. So we feel the stretch up the side of our body through our lats, maybe our obliques, the side abdominals. Just trying to take a few really deep long breaths here. Just bending through that front leg, finding our reverse warrior for a moment. And then we exhale all the way to the floor, back onto our knees, and run through our fire hydrant flow. So the inhale lifts the right leg. The exhale, we straighten it out. Inhale, we bring it back. And the exhale, it comes back to the mat. And then the other side, left leg, straightening, bending, and back to the mat. And just taking our knees as wide as the mat, toes together, just sit back in child's pose. Just take 3, 4, 5 breaths there. Just really enjoying a bit of a rest and an expansion through that lower back. Just coming up and making your way to the front of the mat once more. Take that beautiful inhale halfway up, falling down as you exhale. Inhale, return to the front of the mat, rising. And exhale, hands to heart. A little bit of balance before we come to the floor. Just taking that weight into our left leg. Now we know we don't want to tilt, we know we want to suck into that hip to draw the femur bone back into the socket. As we lift our right leg and bring your hand to the inside of the right knee. It's a little bit of a softness in the left leg. We need the wall to balance, taking the wall. And then we're going to take it out to the side. This really turns on the glute med and the external rotators. Trying to hold here for 3 or 4 breaths. Notice if you're tensing and gritting your jaw, gritting your teeth. Just try and bring it in for a count of 4. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave it there and now try and lower it for a count of 4. 3, 2, 1. Good work. Shake it off. Let's try that other leg. So weight into the right leg, slight softness in the knee, keeping the hips level as we lift the left leg and take the inside of the left knee. Find some stability here, and then we draw the left knee out to the side. Notice what happens to the right hip. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Let's try and bring it in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Fold forward. Take opposite elbows, just have a gentle sway from side to side. Let go of any tension in those hips. And just make your way to a seated position with our legs nice and wide. It's as wide as you feel comfortable with them. Toes coming up towards our shins. Just take a stretch for these muscles in the side of our back, our quadriceps lumborum, that get used a lot when we walk, so they can be a bit of a culprit as far as sore backs go. So stretching our right hand towards our foot, lifting our left arm up, and just bending over to the side. So not rolling forward trying to catch the toe, we actually want to bend towards the side. And you should feel that stretch in the side body. We're just going to stay here and take a few breaths. Don't worry about what you look like, don't worry about that hand, it doesn't matter. Firming the belly to come back up and just change sides. So reaching over to the other side. And you'll feel this wherever you're tight. So you may feel it in these lat muscles. You may feel it in that QL, you may feel it in your glutes. Again, firm up through the belly, come up, and we'll just come forward a little. So just walking the hands forward as far as they comfortably go for you. Just letting the chest relax towards the floor. Maybe closing the eyes if that's available and okay for us. Take 5 breaths here. Walking our hands back in, just bringing them to the outside of our knees and using the hands to lift the knees. And coming down onto our backs with our knees bent, so close to our bottoms. This is our last really active pose. We'll do a little bit of a twist and we'll be done. Let's bring the hands to the hips. As we inhale, lift those hips. So a little squeeze of the glutes, but just like last week, we don't want the upper part of the glutes to kick in. We want to try and think about the lower part right next to the top of our legs. We want to touch that, make sure that's firm, and the top bit's not. So breathing in here, we want to exhale, just lower them a few inches so they hover above the floor, the hips that is. And then inhale, lift again. Exhale, we lower the hips. Inhale, we're lifting. Take 5 more. So find some level of control as you lower them. A little bit of squeeze through those lower glute max at the very top of the movement. It's a slow movement, we're not rushing. That's my 3rd breath. We should have about 2 more to go. Now hold up here for 3 breaths. Exhale to release the hips to the floor. Just windscreen like with the legs from side to side. We did this stretch again last week as well. So crossing the knees like we're sitting on a chair, knees tightly crossed together. Just going to curl up so we can grab the shins or the ankles of both legs. So they're nicely squeezed together. And then we're going to lean back and try and draw the knees closer to the chest. So we should feel this stretch somewhere around the outside of the right leg. Enjoy that. Notice again if you're gripping or tense, particularly in that hip, try and let that go. And keeping the knees where they are, we just want to release the grip on the legs and let both legs fall off to the left. Maybe taking the arms, stretching out wide, maybe using the left hand to pull that right knee down a bit closer to the floor and feeling that stretch again on the right side of the body. It's okay for our neck, we can look towards our right hand. Firming up the belly to come back to the center. And swapping sides, so bringing the left knee on top of the right, curling up to grow our shins. Squeezing those knees tightly together and then lying the head back on the mat, the shoulders back on the mat, and using the arms to draw the knees in closer to the chest. Feeling this stretch this time on the left side of our hip. Just return to letting that breath come in nice and deep and slow. Observing that ebb and the flow of the breath. Preparing the nervous system for Shavasana shortly. So keeping the knees where they are, releasing the grip on the calves and the shins, taking the arms wide, letting the knees drop to the right. I like to bring my right hand to my left knee to just push it down towards the floor and feel more of that stretch. It's up to you. And this time our eyes are gazing over towards our left. Left palm facing up. If our right arm is stretched out, our right arm is facing up. Palm is facing up. Back to center. You need to take any movement to get any fidgets out before Shavasana, then do that. If we need to grab anything for our Shavasana, then do that. Otherwise, just coming into the position that best suits your body today for Shavasana. Making sure if we're lying flat on our backs that our shoulder blades are tucked under to allow the top of the arm bone to fall towards the floor. Palms facing up. Our feet are on the floor, just the ankles rolling out, feet turning out. And if we're closing our eyes, just closing them softly or taking that soft gaze. And allowing a deep breath to enter our body. Then a long, slow exhale through the mouth. Maybe doing that a couple more times. And with the exhale, let the back of the body soften and become heavy. And then just let yourselves settle into a comfortable position, mind and body for Shavasana. A few minutes of silence and stillness, just observing the breath as it enters and leaves our body. As these Shavasana in these online classes tend to be a little shorter. If you feel like staying here longer, then please stay here longer and just ignore me. Otherwise, just starting to let that awareness settle back into the body. Maybe rocking the head gently from side to side, let that neck release a little. And bending our elbows so that we can circle our wrists. And just pointing and flexing our feet. As we feel ready, just take a long inhale and a big stretch. And allow the exhale to curl you into a little ball. A little rock in our sacrum, release any tension we've created there. Before we come to rest on our side, and I like to take a few moments on our side just to take notice of how we feel. Just to recalibrate and absorb the effects of the yoga practice. When we're ready, coming up to a seated position. Maybe with the eyes closed, maybe with the eyes open. Just drawing our hands to our heart. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens. Namaste.